Namaste all. Welcome to chapter 4, that is literature. Early literature. The early literature, or the oldest literature that is known to the humankind, is Veda. Veda literally means knowledge. Vedas are encyclopedia for universal laws. We know that there are 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. When Veda originated, it was only one. It was difficult for the normal person or human being to understand the complete Veda. For ease of learning, the Veda was divided into 4 parts by Dvaipayana. Dvaipayana means born in an island, as he was born in an island created by river Yamuna. Because of his dark complexion, he was also referred as Krishna Dvaipayana. Vyasa means dividing or arranging in Sanskrit. As Dvaipayana divided Vedas into 4 parts for ease of learning, he was also referred as Veda Vyasa. He is famous by this name. Veda Vyasa means the person who has arranged the Veda or divided the Veda. You would have heard the surnames like Dvivedi, Trivedi, and Chaturvedi. Everyone is supposed to learn at least one Veda. Based on how many Vedas he has learned, was evident by the surname. Dvivedi means who has learned 2 Vedas. Trivedi means who has learned 3 Vedas. Chaturvedi means who has learned 4 Vedas. Now, the Vedic literature. What all the Vedic literature consists of? The Vedic literature, when we say, it doesn't refer only to Veda, it refers to 18 books, which are 4 Vedas, 6 Vedangas, 4 Upavedas, and 4 Upangas. Vedas are main source of knowledge. Vedangas literally mean the limbs of the Vedas. They are 6 in number. Just like the limbs of our body, they also perform various supportive and augmenting functions in the study, preservation, and protection of the Vedas and the Vedic traditions. Upaveda refers to subsidiaries to the 4 Vedas, like they are deputies. Upangas are supporting limbs of Vedas. That is, they are limbs of the limbs. That is, parts of the Vedangas. Limbs of the Vedangas. So, Upavedas are deputies to the Vedas, and Upangas are deputies to the Vedangas. Vedas. As we all know, there are 4 Vedas. Okay, the first one among the Vedas was Rig Veda. The second one was Yajur Veda. Third one was Sama Veda, and the fourth one is Atharva Veda. Rig Veda. Let's see in detail about the Rig Veda. The Vedas were available time immemorial. Nobody remembers, or the exact dating is not feasible. But what the dating was done is based on the written forms available. So Rig Veda is estimated to be available in a written form as early as 1700 BCE. BCE means before Common Era, and CE is a Common Era, that is current era that we are counting 2020. So earlier the BCE was referred as BC and CE was referred as AD. Now we use the terminologies BCE and CE. Rig Veda is the oldest and biggest among all 4 Vedas. Rik, that is part of the Rig Veda, Rik, is the name given to those mantras which are meant for the praises of the deities of the gods. A sukta is group of mantras. The one of the famous sukta that we generally hear is Purusha Sukta. Purusha Sukta explains that the universe was created out of the parts of a single cosmic man, that is Purusha. The four classes that is called as Varnas of Indian society also came from his body. It contains numerous secrets and clarifications about the origin of the world. The universally famous Gayatri mantra is also from Rigveda. The Varna system, that is a four-part division of the society, is mentioned in this Rigveda. Rigveda also speaks about issues of morality and the right social behavior. It tackles important issues of time like gambling, right measures of good governance. Rigveda served both as a religious source as well as moral guide. Rigveda was first translated into Latin by Frederick August Rosen in 1830, even before Max Muller translated that into English. Let's see about the Ayurveda, the second of the Vedas. Ayurveda seems to have been compiled 1 or 2 centuries later than Rigveda. Ayurveda's main use is in performance of Vedic yajnas. Mantras in Veda, in Rigveda, are referred as Yajus. This Veda has 2 sections, Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. Shukla Yajurveda is taught by sun god to Agnivalka Maharshi. Agnivalka Maharshi was very quick in learning Shukla Yajurveda from the sun god, as he was Eka Sandigrahi. Eka Sandigrahi means the person who learns in one teaching. Shukla Yajurveda has 2 shakas. One of them is Kanva Shaka. The Parampara Acharya of Kanva Shaka is Kanva Maharshi, in whose ashram the Emperor Bharat has born and grown up. Our land is called Bharat or Bharatvarsha after this great Emperor Bharat. Famous Shanti mantra, Om Dhyau Shanti, is from the Yajurveda. Majority of the Yajurveda is in prose form when compared to other Vedas, which are majorly in poetic form. Now let's see about the third Veda, that is Sama Veda. Sama means melody, music. Sama is the Veda of melodies. Sama Veda is the shortest of all the Vedas. It is understood that Samaveda is the origin of the Indian music. Now let's see the last and the latest Veda, that is Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda is the last one, hence it is the latest of all the Vedas. This Veda is mainly about curing diseases. Atharva Veda is only Veda which is related to both worldly happiness as well as our spiritual. Rishi Sushruta, who was remembered for his contribution to the surgical studies, credits Atharva Veda as its foundation. There are prayers to protect crops from lightning and drought, charms against venomous serpents, healing spells, etc. as part of this Veda. Now let's see about the Vedangas. What are Vedangas? So Vedangas are angas of the Veda, that is limbs or parts of the Veda. There are 6 Vedangas. Panini Rishi tells 2 verses on the importance of Vedangas. Those verses describe Vedas as Veda as a Purusha or a person having 6 limbs as 6 Vedangas. 6 Vedangas are Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandas, and Jyotish. Shiksha has is the nose of the Veda Purusha. Kalpa are his two arms. Nirukta are his ears. Vyakarana is his mouth. Chandas are his 2 feet. Jyotisha are his eyes. Shiksha deals with the study of pronunciation of the words and syllables that are used in Vedas. Kalpa deals with how to perform Vedic action. Vyakarana is grammar. So Vyakarana is necessary for understanding the Vedas. Nirukta means etymology, and it explains the reason why a particular word has been used in what way in the Vedas. The meaning, it's like a dictionary. Chandas means it measures and divides Vedic mantras by the number of padas in the words. Jyotish deals with astronomical and astrological aspects of fixing auspicious date and time to perform various Vedic rites and rituals. Now let us see about Upavedas. As we said, the Upavedas are the deputies for the Vedas. The Upaveda means the applied knowledge, like science and applied science. So Veda and Upaveda. Ayurveda is the science of health and life. So Ayurveda is associated with Rigveda. Dhanurveda is another Upaveda. This deals about the warfare. So this Dhanurveda is associated with Ajurveda. Gandharva Veda is about music and dance. Gandharva Veda is associated with Samaveda. Sthapatya Veda is about engineering and architecture. Sthapatya Veda is associated with Atharva Veda. Now let us see what are Upangas. Upangas are like deputies to the Angas or Vedangas. Upangas can be looked like an instruction manual. It's an instruction manual that is a step-by-step explanation of the progression of the gaining knowledge. There are 4 Upangas: Nyaya, Mimamsa, Purana, Itihasa, Purana or Itihasa, Dharma Shastra. Nyaya is about law of nature. Mimamsa is about the inquiry or deep analysis of Vedas. Purana about the history, and Dharma Shastra contains the guidelines for leading life. You would have heard Sangopasanga, Sangopanga. It's there in Kannada and it's there in Sanskrit also. It may be there in another languages also. So this word came into usage based on the Vedas. Upavedas are subsidiary Vedas. Their connection with the prime scripture is thus obvious. So when we say Upaveda, it's clear that it is related to Veda. The Vedas must be learned along with Angas and Upangas. Such a thorough analysis or thorough study of the scripture is called Sa Anga Upanga Adhyayana. That is, study of Vedas with the Angas and Upangas. Hence the term Sa Anga Upanga, that is Sangopanga, which has come into popular usage, is derived from this detailed study. So it is referred whenever any function or any lecture completes full knowledge to the participants, then it is referred as a Sangopanga lecture. Apart from the Vedas, we have great epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata. So the Ramayana is about the life of Rama, which happened in Treta Yuga. Mahabharata is about the Bharat Varsha during the life of Krishna, which happened in Dwapar Yuga. The Ramayana and Mahabharata were very famous epics in the Indian history. Now, there are, other than the great epics and the Vedas, we have many more contributions. So one of them is Panchatantra. Panchatantra is a collection stories of 5 books. So because of these 5 books, it is referred as Panchatantra. This is the greatest contribution of Bharat to the art of storytelling to the universe. This is translated to Arabic around 750 CE. Stories of Panchatantra found their way even to Europe also through the folklore channels and the way of Persian and Arabic translations. They have substantially influenced that era's stories. There are many great literature writers in that era. One of them is Kalidasa. Kalidasa was the greatest poet and dramatist. So he has written famous books like Abhignana Shakuntala, Meghaduta, Vikramorvashi, Malavika Agnimitra, Raghuvamsha, Kumara Sambhava. You may be aware, Shakespeare, the English writer, he can be considered as Kalidasa of English. That is the older contribution. So the contribution continues to the new eras also. So we have Bana Bhatta. Bana Bhatta has written many books in Sanskrit. Famous one is Parvati Parinaya. Sarvagnya. Sarvagnya literally means one who knows all. Sarvagnya is famous for his 3-line poems written in Kannada called Tripadis. Kumara Vyasa. Kumara has written Mahabharata, so which is famously known as Kumara Vyasa Bharata. The Kumara Vyasa is as much as comparable to the Mahabharata written by Vyasa. So he is referred as Kumara Vyasa, that is the Vyasa or Kumara of Vyasa. It can be referred as Shishya or son or little something. So Tulsidasa has written Ramayana, which is famously known as Tulsi Ramayana. So in the recent times, we have R.K. Narayan, who's a leading English author from India. He has written one of the famous bunch of stories, which is compiled as called Malgudi Days. And Vidyadhar Suraj Prasad Naipaul, so who is famously known as V.S. Naipaul. He is the author of fictional and non-fictional novels, which have become very famous. Now let us see how much we know our literatures or the literature writers. So identify these 2 persons. So there are hints below. So based on this, we can identify. Thank you.